Can you imagine living on an island peacefully your whole life, but also bound to a prolifically eruptive volcano? It sounds both magical and terrifying at the same time. Perched on the Philippine island of Luzon, the majestic Bulkang Taal, or Taal Volcano, stands as a geological marvel and an integral part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. Nestled within a vast caldera that harbors a lake within its confines, Taal is renowned for its picturesque yet volatile nature. This stratovolcano has etched a tumultuous narrative throughout history, with recorded eruptions dating back to the 16th century. Its unpredictable behavior has earned it the moniker Volcano Island, reflecting its capacity for sudden and explosive activity. Over the centuries, Taal has unleashed its fury, with notable eruptions leaving indelible marks on the surrounding landscape. The catastrophic events have not only shaped the physical terrain, but also influenced the lives of nearby communities. As a testament to its significance, Taal remains closely monitored by science and authorities, serving as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance between nature's beauty and its potentially destructive force. What are the origins of this incredible volcanic specimen? How did it shape the lives of people who were inherently bound to it? Before we begin this wonderful historical journey, make sure to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with our latest content. Now, let's take a look. Geological origins. Taal Volcano, nestled in a caldera lake called Lake Taal, is a small volcano near Manila, the capital of the Philippines, and currently very active. With its latest activity in 2022, more than 54 Taal eruptions were recorded since 1572, with its most devastating eruption happening in 1911, brutally claiming 1,100 lives. According to the website taalvolcano.org, the official website dedicated to this mountain, quote, Taal Volcano is part of a chain of volcanoes along the island of Luzon, which were formed by two tectonic plates colliding over 500,000 years ago. Since the formation of this large caldera, Taal Lake, subsequent eruptions created another volcanic island within Taal Lake, known as Volcano Island. Over 30 eruptions have been recorded at Taal since the 16th century, mostly small eruptions restricted to Volcano Island. However, occasional violent activity has affected the entire region, with the death toll estimated at over 5,000 people. Because of its proximity to populated areas and its erupted history, Taal Volcano was designated a decade volcano. End quote. Research suggests that Taal's geological origins can be traced back to the Pliocene epoch. The Pliocene epoch, spanning from 5.3 to 2.6 million years ago, marked a time of global climatic fluctuations and the emergence of modern flora and fauna. Ice caps expanded, leading to the formation of iconic landscapes, while early hominins evolved, setting the stage for the Pleistocene and the eventual rise of Homo sapiens. Looking at Taal's current landscape and geological positioning, the caldera, a large crater-like structure, was formed through a series of explosive eruptions, collapsing the central part of a larger ancestral volcano. Over time, subsequent eruptions within its caldera led to the formation of the smaller volcanic island, known today as Volcano Island. Taal's unique feature lies in its volcano within a volcano configuration, with the main crater containing a lake known as Taal Lake, and within it, another island hosting the active vent. The intricate geological setup contributes to the dynamic nature of Taal, making it one of the most active and closely monitored volcanoes globally. The ongoing interaction between the Philippine Sea Plate and the Eurasian Plate continues to shape Taal Volcano's geological landscape, reminding us of the ever-changing forces that govern our planet's surface. So, which was the most legendary eruption of all from this prolifically eruptive volcano? Does it compare to some of history's most iconic eruptions, such as the Hoei eruption of Mount Fujisan? If you'd like to know more about the famous eruption of Japan's Mount Fuji, you can check it out with this link here. The massive historical eruption of Taal Volcano in 1911. The 1911 eruption of Taal Volcano in the Philippines was a catastrophic event that unfolded over many days. On January 27, 1911, the volcano explosively erupted, sending ash and steam kilometers into the atmosphere. The eruption devastated nearby towns, forcing thousands to flee. The explosive phase continued until January 30th, altering the landscape and causing widespread destruction. The eruption, classified as a Volcanic Explosivity Index VEI4 event, left a lasting impact on the region, emphasizing Taal's volatile nature. Despite its destructive force, Taal remains an active and closely monitored volcano, posing ongoing challenges for the surrounding communities. We found some research in the archives of the University of Michigan published by a Reverend Miguel Cedero Masso. At the time of the eruption, he was the Assistant Director of the Weather Bureau in Manila. We'll go over some of his personal accounts that he recorded and were subsequently published in this dossier to better understand the events of this eruption. You can find the link to the research paper attached in the description of this video below. His writings detailed the events that preceded the eruption, which were triggers that led to the explosive volcanic activity at the beginning of 1911. Much like our last video, which looked at Mount Fujisan and how the legendary Hui eruption of 1707 was triggered by earthquakes, Taal Volcano's most significant eruption of 1911 was also sparked by rumbles of tectonic activity. The following passages are excerpts of the personal accounts of Reverend Miguel Cedero Masso. Quote, "At 20 hours and 20 minutes of January 27th, 1911, the seismographs of Manila Observatory commenced to register frequent seismic disturbances, which were of small amplitude in the beginning, but increased rapidly in frequency and intensity. The first earthquake, perceptible in Manila with intensity 3 on the Rossi-Forel scale, occurred at 23 hours, 6 minutes and 5 seconds, when the number of imperceptible shocks of force I registered during the preceding 3 hours had already exceeded 20. Mr. J.D. Ward, who was on Pulo Volcan during the night, tells us at about the time stated, he was awakened by the strong rumbling of the volcano. He went out to see what was going on and saw an immense column of smoke rising from the crater. At the same time, he became aware of the fact that the earth was trembling strongly and almost continually. Later on, the noise ceased, without, however, any appreciable diminution of the volcano's unusual activity or of the earthquakes. Sunday, January 29, these noises were heard anew. It appears to be certain that the explosions began to assume a terrific violence at 1 o'clock in the morning of January 30th. Shortly after 2 a.m., the volcano burst forth with frightful energy. A terrible roar, which seemed to be at the same time subterraneous and in the air, and could be heard in all directions from the volcano up to distances exceeding 500 kilometers, 310 miles. Filled with fear even the people of Manila, those 63 kilometers from the crater. At the same time, there was seen an immense, threatening black cloud, crossed by brilliant flashes of lightning and illuminated by local explosions resembling globular lightning. The whole accompanied by peals of thunder for the space of half an hour. This tempestuous cloud must have risen to an enormous height, since it was observed from distances of some 400 kilometers, where it was mistaken for a distant thunderstorm. People living in towns at some distance from Taal, but having it in full view, noticed that there were 2 or 3 explosions in succession, and that the electric discharges took place almost vertically within the column of smoke, striking upward from the mouth of the crater." End quote. These personal accounts of volcanic experience are precious for populations today that have to prepare and adapt to volcanic activity. Without these historical accounts, we wouldn't know how to prepare for the worst-case scenarios. Looking to the sociological impacts, let's talk about how the people of Luzon Island were affected by this godlike geological event. Are you interested in learning more about the amazing nature of volcanoes and how they impact people's lives on Earth? Support us by clicking the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest content. So, back to the story of Bulkang Taal. What was the effect on human populations? The 1911 eruption of Taal Volcano necessitated immediate and long-term adaptations from the affected communities, reshaping their lives in response to the cataclysmic event. In the aftermath, people exhibited resilience by implementing various strategies to cope with the eruption's consequences. Immediate adaptations included mass evacuations as residents sought safety in neighboring towns. The establishment of temporary shelters and emergency aid stations reflected a swift response to the urgent needs of the displaced populations. Communities, both local and external, collaborated to provide essential supplies and medical assistance. Long-term adaptations involved restructuring livelihoods and agricultural practices. The altered landscape prompted farmers to adopt new cultivation methods and diversify crops suitable for the changed environment. Some communities were forced to transition from agriculture to alternative sources of income, such as fishing or trading, to mitigate the long-term impact on their economic stability. The eruption also influenced the spatial organization of communities. Rebuilding efforts led to the creation of more resilient infrastructure, with the settlement strategically located to minimize vulnerability to future volcanic activity. This adaptive urban planning considered lessons learned from the disaster to enhance community safety. Culturally, the eruption left an indelible mark on the affected communities. Local traditions and knowledge systems incorporated lessons from the disaster, contributing to the development of indigenous early warning systems and the passing down of oral histories that informed subsequent generations about the volcanic threat. The 1911 Taal eruption showcases the dynamic relationship between people and their environment, highlighting how adaptive strategies enabled communities to recover, rebuild, and coexist with the ever-changing volcanic landscape. In retrospect, the eruption of Bulkang Taal in 1911 stands as a pivotal moment in the volcano's storied history, leaving an immortal mark on the region and its inhabitants. The cataclysmic event, marked by powerful explosions and the release of copious amounts of ash, devastated surrounding areas and altered the landscape significantly. The eruption of 1911 serves as a strong reminder of the inherent unpredictability of volcanic activity, as this specific eruption came so quickly and prompted widespread evacuation efforts within days. Reflecting on this historical eruption, it becomes evident that the resilience and adaptability of the affected communities played a crucial role in their recovery. Lessons learned from the past continue to inform contemporary approaches to monitoring and mitigating the risks associated with Bulkang Taal. As the volcano remains an ever-present feature on the Philippine archipelago, the events of 1911 underscore the ongoing need for vigilance, preparedness, and scientific understanding to safeguard the well-being of those living in its shadow. The legacy of Bulkang Taal's 1911 eruption serves as a testament to the enduring relationship between human societies and the volatile forces of nature. Thanks for tuning in to this episode on Asia Inferno. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below about these magnificent geological events and how you wonder how people live and adapt to such incredible scenarios. See you in the next video.